Yo, Stephanie Gaines, another spiritually invested morning. Seekers podcast. My eyes, Lord. I did have coffee, but I did not sleep all that well. But it's okay because guess what? I took ownership of my mindset and my spirit this morning. I did not let it affect me. So I'm here again, committing to be present, be creative. And I like to turn on my sports shows because that's when I get my fix, my sports fix. Ooh, what was the drama? What I didn't get to see in the NBA last night. And I like to watch Skip and Shannon first thing in the morning. And there was no Skip and Shannon in the Carlton or Carson, whatever show was on. It just throws off my whole vibe, right? So I didn't sleep. Skip and Shannon's not on. I'm challenged this morning. And so I tried to get into the alternate television show that was on. I was not present for it. I was not feeling it. I was like, well, I will get my coffee and then I'll just, I've got this new podcast that I'm really into. Guy's name is Hindz, Hindz. His podcast is Hindsight, and amazing brother. So I'm looking at Hindz videos this morning. I was like, I looked at that one. Just spirit ain't in it. And I found a little 7-minute video. Everyone's not equipped to go through it with you. Let me tell you something. This is something that I have been saying forever. The people around you, I call, our space, our bodies, it's kind of like a car, like a vehicle. We're moving, and some of us have capacity to carry things, more things than others. Some people, have mental and emotional SUVs. Some people have mental and emotional Mini Coopers. Some people are on bicycles, mentally and emotionally. Some people are on motorcycles, mentally and emotionally. But, we've all got a different mental and emotional vehicle that we're riding in. And everybody doesn't have the same capacity to move the way that we move or haul the same type of cargo that we can haul. And I say this all the time, just because there are people in your circle, that you call your friends, or they may legit be your friends, it doesn't mean that they have the capacity to be where you are or where you're not, right? You have friends who may be clubbers, out all-nighters. Maybe you don't have the capacity to be where they are. Maybe your vehicle, your mental and emotional vehicle can't go where they go. They can't go where you go. Because why? Maybe you have a family, you have a home life, you have some things that you are into. Maybe they can't ride in your mental and emotional vehicle, but we try to, just because people are around us, just because people are in our circle, we try to make them drive the same type of mental and emotional vehicle that we drive. Everybody can't afford a Ferrari. Everybody can't afford a Land Rover, whatever vehicle that is my wife wants. Whatever. My truck carries 5 people. My wife's carries 6 or 7. I'm not sure. I think it's 6. But we have a different type of vehicle that we drive, right? But we always want to collect everybody around us and put them in our mental and emotional vehicle. And there's not enough capacity. There's not enough space for everybody. And so you end up jamming your vehicle. You're ruining your suspension, your mental and emotional suspension, trying to carry people everywhere you go. Everybody isn't meant to ride with you, right? Everybody can't ride with you. Everybody doesn't have the capacity to ride with you, the mental capacity to ride with you. One thing Hindz said, and I thought this was a great analogy. He said, if there's something on the top shelf in your kitchen and you can't reach it, you're 5'5", are you going to call your little brother in who's 4 feet tall to reach on the top shelf to get something for you? Or you're going to call the person in the house, maybe an older brother, I think is what he said, to reach up, who's 6'3", to reach it, right? Same thing. Physical limitations, the analogy is mental limitations. There are people in my life who can't reach the things that I can reach emotionally, mentally. There's some people in my life who can reach higher mentally and emotionally. And maybe those are the people that I call on when I can't reach, when I can't stretch, when I'm having some difficulty reaching something. I call that person, right? I don't down and degrade and talk about and lowball the people who don't have the mental capacity or the emotional capacity to be where I need them to be. It's just about us being aware of what's around us. And maybe your lens is limited. Maybe you don't have any ability to recognize your limitations within yourself. And maybe you think yourself that you can be any and everything to everybody. Maybe you think your mental and emotional vehicle can carry everybody, but that's just not true. And so I find that a lot of us are just not even aware of who we are mentally and emotionally. We don't even recognize that our vehicle is not large enough to carry all the things that we're trying to carry. I mean, some of us, the number of problems we may have, financial problems, work problems, relationship problems, just plain old people problems, could be health issues. If your arms are full and if you're just playing a role of an always there friend, hey, I'm gonna tell you, I love when my friends just tell me, girl, listen, I just can't talk right now. I'm going through some things. I can respect that. Because, sometimes, in my life, I know I've been needy and I have needed some things from some people and they just were going through their own thing and maybe just were not comfortable enough in saying, hey, I'm not in the place where I can see and receive, but I'll hit you back. But sometimes we just kind of need that truth. It keeps us from being offended. It keeps us from taking on extra negativity, extra baggage. Maybe what they're going through has nothing to do with you, and their inability to see you in that moment is just because they can't see themselves, right? And they're just trying to focus on getting through the day. Like my eyes are burning right now, but it's because I didn't sleep well. So I don't have the capacity to just like be bright eyed right now. Ooh, I'm hoping that changes because that does look a little, whew. But anyway, same thing, right? So everybody's not equipped to ride with us. You're not equipped to ride with everybody else. Just make sure that you are doing the best that you can to present your best self, just for you, be there for you. And do yourself a favor. Take a look around. The people that are in your circle, the people who are closest to you, evaluate their mental and emotional capacity to be there for you or not be there for you, and respect either way. If you're ascending and you're going somewhere and you're trying to take the people who are not ready to ascend, who are not trying to ascend, too many bags on the plane could be a detriment, right? We have to equal out our weight capacity so that we can soar, so that we can rise. Instead of trying to jam all that luggage on the plane, take a look around. The people in your space in your life, what are they really capable of? And don't look down on them. Don't say, well, then if that's the case, then they're no good for me. I wouldn't say that, but I think it is appropriate. And anybody who knows me knows that I think you adjust your spacing with people in your life according to where they fit in your life. If you are in a particular place of growth and everybody is not ready to wake up and be spiritually or self-accountable, that's okay. Adjust your spacing so that you can be comfortable where you are. I don't want people sitting too tight up around me. I want to be able to stretch out, but yeah, sometimes it's okay to adjust your space and respect people's space that they're in. Sometimes it's people's limitations, that they've put on themselves based on life experiences, the way that they see life, developed perceptions based on experiences. Sometimes you have to know where they are so that you can get where you need to be. Sometimes you need to, take a step back. Again, they may not be able to ride in your vehicle and you may not need to get in their vehicle either. Because some people are not safe drivers, right? They might have a large, what appears to be a large vehicle, right? Appears to be a large vehicle. And you get in that thing and ride and disaster happens. You're not safe. Maybe they speed. right? Maybe they don't wear a seatbelt, which goes to show you that they're not even willing to protect their own self, not willing to protect themselves. People can't protect themselves. They can't protect you. So evaluate your space and the people around you. What kind of vehicle are they riding in? Can you fit? You know, how do they treat themselves? How do they treat other people? Have a variety of people in your life. You know, have some people that you can look up to and reach up to. And then you always got to have that ride or die, you know, friend that you can just kind of, when you're in that space where you just need to vent and just be ugly about some stuff that you're feeling just to get it off your chest, have that friend, you know, and then have some friends that can just cover you, you know, when you can't even speak for yourself. I mean, have a variety of people, but this expectation that just because you're my friend and you're in my life, you have to be there when I need you and how I need you is just ridiculous. You know, I failed math, I think in 8th or 9th grade. I think I failed algebra or something. You know, I couldn't have a friend that asked me to help them with their math homework. I just wasn't that person. Did not have the mental capacity to be there for somebody who needed help with algebra. So recognize, you know, limitations within yourself, work on them. I don't believe we should ever settle within our limitations and use them as excuses for not growing. But yeah, everybody can't ride with you. Everybody can't be there for you. Everybody can't go through it with you. You know, most importantly, I think it's important to be there for yourself. You know, have some avenues, you know, some spiritual awareness or some way, even if you're not a spiritual person, but some way to connect with what you're going through, and choose wisely the people around you, because there's some people around you when you're hurt, you're not thinking about the fact that they may be hurt, and then they bite you, right? You ever called a friend and you're in a real sensitive space and they didn't give you what you needed and they were kind of sharp with you, or maybe they said some things that you were not emotionally prepared to receive. You know, sometimes that happens, you know, but it's just pay attention. You know, pay attention, be observant. Don't be so self-absorbed and blind with expectation that everybody is where you are. And sometimes this, you know, sometimes we're so self-absorbed that we don't even see people around us who are growing. And we just presume or we assume that they are just the same person that they've always been. And so they're used to just kind of dragging me along, or I'm used to dragging them along. And they're trying to tell you that they're not in the same space. They're trying to tell you that they're growing. You know, maybe you've noticed something different about them, but you've never even bothered to ask. You're just like, yeah, well, we've been doing this thing for forever. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's the same old thing. You never notice. You know how you know, you've been listening to a song. This happens to me sometimes on my music. I don't like it when Apple does this, but sometimes it'll switch out a song that I've downloaded and it's some new remastered version or new rendition, and I don't like it. It's like, no, that's not what I downloaded. I downloaded the original version. And then they think they're giving me some upgraded version of the musical selection. I don't want that. But some of your friends, you know, have remastered themselves. You know, they are now a remastered version of themselves, and you are bothered because they have swapped themselves out and didn't tell you, and you know, you don't know what happened. You know, sometimes you have to switch out your playlist, but just pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to how you're feeling about yourself. You know, in the mornings when I wake up, here lately, I sit, you know, after I give my I have my moment of gratitude and thanks, I sit and I listen to how I'm feeling on the inside. I try to feel my body. I take a deep breath. Is my body in a place of peace? Am I feeling anxious about something? What am I feeling anxious about? Let me examine that. Because sometimes we get out of bed in the morning and we don't even pay attention to how we slept, what dream we may have had. Is our mood altered? It's okay to just kind of sit before you move, sit before you even speak. Sometimes maybe you need to kind of pull yourself in and maybe give people a warning. Hey, I didn't sleep too well last night, but this way you're kind of, you're taking responsibility for how you're moving at that point, but yeah, everybody isn't equipped to go through it with you. Take inventory, pay attention to where you are, and start paying attention to where the people around you are. And if their mental and emotional vehicle doesn't have the capacity for the place that you're at currently, or the place where you're trying to go, or the place where you need, that's okay. It's okay. So just be the best version of yourself. And if you can't, same rule applies, reverse. If you can't be there, man, just be honest in that thing, because the worst thing you can do is, snap up somebody, unintentionally, because you didn't have the capacity to give them what they needed at that particular time. I always believe in walking in truth, and the truth will set you free. That's what Esther used to say on Sanford and Son all the time. But I didn't, as an adult, I really came to understand, what she really meant by that, or what she really meant. Like that was Esther saying, that's in the Bible anyway. But truth is freedom. Once you release the truth, reveal the truth, then you can be free in whatever you're doing. But hiding our truth, keeps us locked up and keeps us on them crutches. So anyway, that's sort of my thought for the day. Now I'm going to go upstairs and try to be productive with some of this laundry. I'll see y'all next time. Seekers Podcast, Tiffany Gaines, I'm out.